I'm about to get the dressing changed where the incision scar or entrance or whatever you call it is from the feeding tube. It's hurting and there's stitches, so that's where the tube is inserted. Those are just marks from the surgery, but there's some stitches in that. And then there's stitches. I can't tell what I'm doing. Okay, there's stitches on each side to hold it in place. And then that's a scar from the last time I had a feeding tube, like 6 years ago, but I only had it for like 2 weeks. So that's what it looks like. It's pretty painful. I'm allergic to the tape from the bandage, so my skin's all irritated. But yeah, so it's gonna look like I have 3 belly buttons now. Cool.
Little man and Mama C.
On top of everything I just went through, my grandma, my nanny, she passed away the day after I had surgery on Saturday, so that's been hard to deal with from here, but I'm not gonna cry. I just got out of surgery. It's the most painful surgery I've ever had. G tube and J tube in one. This is not fun. Okay, let's talk about why I really had to get the feeding tube. Not medically, but like, I'm trying to make it to where y'all understand where I'm coming from. So basically, I was starving. Like, I wasn't starving myself, but I was starving. My body, my stomach and my esophagus and everything was rejecting food. So no matter how much I tried to eat, I was throwing it up. So my body was starving. And imagine going, have you ever gone like a whole day without eating? You know how like gross you feel at the end of the day? Like you get hangry, you're hungry and angry. So you just want to eat, you're dizzy, you're pale, you're exhausted, you have no energy. All you can think about is eating. Well, imagine doing that for months. For months, I was not eating. Well, I was eating, but I wasn't digesting anything. Everything was being thrown up. So 4 months, I would try to eat, throw it up within minutes of eating it. So I had no energy. I was like a zombie. I really was. You're so weak. So walking from one room to the other, I was so dizzy and my whole body would hurt and you just had no energy. Like, it's hard to explain, but just imagine going without food for days at a time, weeks at a time, and for me, months at a time. Like, it's crazy what your body goes through, and it's crazy to me. I've been in the hospital now since the day before Mother's Day, and today's Wednesday, so about 11 days. I'm having my last surgery tomorrow. That will be the 3rd one I've had since I've been here. And if everything goes good, I should be able to go home Friday. So they're gonna do another EDG tomorrow and dilate my esophagus to 15, which is where it needs to be. So hopefully it all goes good so I can get out of here because I'm ready to be home. Like I've said, I've had a feeding tube put in before, but the one I had before was just a feeding tube. It wasn't a draining tube as well, so it wasn't the exact same surgery, and I did not know how much of a difference it was going to be. Like, if the doctor would have told me how much pain I was going to be in afterwards, I probably wouldn't have done the surgery no matter how well it goes, because what I've gone through has been brutal. When I say that labor is cake compared to this, I'm not even kidding, and I'm not being dramatic. I'd rather be going through labor all over again than what I dealt with in the last few days. So Friday at 2 o'clock, they took me from my room and took me to the operation room. They gave me some oxygen, and then I went to sleep. I woke up and I was in so much pain. This is the most pain I've ever been in from anything, especially a surgery. So I was in so much pain, came back to my room, and I just slept because, you know, you've been put under, so you're still really tired and drowsy. So I slept for a couple hours, and it was all right. And then I woke up. And I was in the worst pain of my life. It was so much worse because they started the feedings through the feeding tube. Their goal was to get it still is the goal, to get it up to a 50. So they had me going at a 30, the rate of the feeding. 30 30 milliliters, I think that's what it is, per hour within an hour and within an hour and a half of having the feeding tube placed. And it was way too much for my body to handle. Like, it hurt so bad. It felt like labor, and on top of labor cramps, it felt like there was a knife going in my stomach and coming out of my back, because there's a feeding tube, which you can see from the outside. Ooh. And then there's another tube that's, the feeding tube's connected to the stomach, and then there's a tube that you can't see because it's on the inside, that's from the stomach to the intestine, so it drains my stomach. So one's a feeding tube and one's a draining tube. So I didn't have the draining tube before, I only had the feeding tube. So I don't know, it was at 30 and it was too much. I never cry when I'm in pain, never. And I was screaming. Like, it was a horrible night. I didn't go to bed till like 4 in the morning. I couldn't lay down, that hurt. I couldn't do anything. The only thing that I was comfortable with was walking back and forth, and walking hurt so bad, but I couldn't lay still because I was hurting so bad. So the first night was rough, and on top of being in all that pain, it was making me throw up, and throwing up was making it hurt worse. I can't cough, I can't sneeze. When I get the hiccups, everything hurts because it's your core muscles. So it's a cut that's pretty deep through the stomach into the intestines. Any movement that has to do with your core or this part of your body is no joke. It hurts really bad. Like I said, the goal is to get the feeding tube rate up to a 50. But after all that, I told her to please turn it off, do not turn it back on, and just let me take a break. So that's what we did. And the next morning when my doctor came in, or afternoon, whatever it was, that I wish I didn't do it and all this stuff, and he told me it was going to be okay, it just gets worse before it gets better. So he changed my pain medicine. He gave me a stronger pain medicine that works way better, and he cut it down. So I started at a 5 and moved my way up. So I was at a 5, and then a 10, a 15, now I'm on a 25, and it's still cramping and stuff, but it's not doing it as bad. My doctor said that my intestine isn't used to all the nutrition and meals and stuff, so it's kind of like freaking out and spazzing. So it'll just need some time, and it'll get used to it, and it won't hurt as bad, or it won't hurt at all. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Thank Lord I haven't sneezed yet, because that's gonna hurt. I've had the hiccups, and that hurts really bad, and I need to stop scratching because I'm allergic to the tape and the bandages, so my skin's all irritated. That's why I have the bandages off right now, and I'm just chilling with my shirt up and letting it air out because it itches so bad, but I can't scratch it. They don't want it to get infected. I'm over here scratching it. But yeah, so that was all like day 1 of surgery, or after surgery. So day 2, they changed my pain medicine, and I was able to get some sleep because, like I said, I was in so much pain I couldn't even sleep. And usually when I'm in pain, I just try to sleep it off, but sleep was not happening for me. So he changed my pain medicine. I finally got some sleep. I stopped puking as much. I was still puking just a little bit, which hurts so bad, but I stopped puking, and I was able to eat like light meals, like soup and just light things, pudding. I didn't have much of an appetite, but that day I started getting mine back. You don't really realize how much you use your core muscles until your core is cut open and any movement hurts. Like, did you know you use your core muscles to pee? Yeah, I didn't either until I had to go pee and realized how painful it was. So just have to be really careful with everything. And I just have to remember that this is just temporary. It's going to be better in a week or so, but that's where I'm at right now. And lonely, and I just want to be at home with Aiden in my own bed, but this is one step closer to being healthier. After I heal up, then we're going to plan the surgery for the pacemaker, the gastric pacemaker, and that will make my life, I'll be living a normal life, and I haven't got to do that in years, so that's pretty cool. But I'm not planning that or even thinking about that until this heals up, because I don't want to think about putting my body through another surgery until I can breathe without it hurting. My voice is all shaky and stuff. I know, I hate it, but and I don't like talking about this. Our YouTube channel is not going to be all about my health. I never wanted to make a single video about my gastroparesis or what I go through, but it's became like the biggest part of my life that's what I have to do. But the next time I'm talking about my health, it's going to be about how it's getting better. I'm not going to keep talking about how bad it is. Hopefully the next time I make a video about my health is because y'all ask questions and y'all want answers, or because I'm saying how I'm in remission, and that's going to be the end of it. Like I said, if y'all do have questions over something I didn't cover, go ahead and ask me. I will answer it. Like I said before, thank you so much for all the thoughts and prayers and good vibes and positive energy. I really appreciate it. So, bye guys.